simple. We can defeat the enemy. I have analyzed many weaknesses in their attack pattern, though it's the most vicious and wide-ranging and most well-thought-out ever seen, known as the scientific dictatorship by MIT, by the Pentagon, by the brains in London. Their attack profile is public. They have stated what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. We have ways to defeat them. But we have to act now in this phase. It will be near impossible 5 years into this. 5 years from now, if you haven't mobilized today, like your very life depends on it, there is no hope. And years from now, you will remember what I said here on air long after I'm off air. Because if this continues, I won't be on air. I would give it 12 months, maximum. This show will not be allowed to go out. If people don't get their heads screwed on straight, if all of you don't activate and get very aggressive and very vocal in the info war, it is going to break down into an ongoing civil war. The whole anti-Al-Qaeda, anti-system was set up for enemies over there that were manufactured when it really is about attacking the American people. And they want us to fight. They want us to kill police and military. They want that further breakdown, and I'm going to explain that later. We have to stop it now. Now, the bankers own the banking system, and they're going to do what they're going to do with Congress. Congress was threatened with martial law last week if they didn't pass that. We're in martial law. When the White House threatens martial law, that is martial law. That's what PDD 51 is. And when Congress acquiesced to the terrorism, they signed the contract. But with a gun to their head, a literal gun to their head, they signed it saying, okay, you've got financial dictatorial power. Fox, guarding the hen house, ex-Goldman Sachs executive to oversee bailout. We're going to go over that. Gold rush as bullion has a glitzy future. Daily Express. Another report here from CNBC. Gold prices to double on paper market default. You may not care about paper market defaults, but you should. We'll tell you what that means. Bankers want world economic government to solve financial crisis they created. They're openly admitting they created it and that they want to have the consolidation. The Financial Times of London a year and a half ago said that in multiple stories, letting everybody know, don't worry, we're controlling this. Don't worry, it's the International Bank of Settlements 2 years ago said that. They are engineering it. And in the high-level banking documents, some of which have been leaked, some of which are public, fragments of which have been reported on, they admit it. But that's not for general consumption. What we do is we bypass that and get into the white papers, where they say they got nerve gas for you and your family. This evil government has got crews standing by to spray every city with opiate gases. That is declassified. Sunshine Project 2000, February 2000. Got those documents declassified. Can you imagine what is classified? Well, we know it's nerve gas. Now, if they spray a city, say of 1 million, with opiate gases, only take about 20 helicopters and 2 runs. They say that within a few hours, more than 10% of the population will die. You'll fall, you'll hit your head, cars will wreck, there will be fires, the fire department won't be able to fight them. So you're talking about killing 100,000 people if they spray an entire city. And folks, don't think they won't. If they think we're about to overthrow the government, they are going to launch helicopters and they are going to spray our cities. You will see a helicopter coming down. You'll see fires in the distance, smoke. You'll see helicopters flying grid patterns. And if you don't have gas masks on your loved ones and on your family, of course, they'll be at school. And folks, see, I'm not joking about this. Now, I'm not saying they'll use those, but that's how evil the people that have hijacked our government are. That it was declassified 8 years ago, they're ready to nerve gas us. Okay, I'm going to get into it later. And again, the big British Ministry of Defense report last year said governments will use neutron bombs on their own population if they try to overthrow them. You say have a march on Washington? You say have a march on London? A march on Berlin, throw the criminals out? They're not turning anything over. Now, sustained national strikes are ways to do it. But then again, they'll shut down the alternative media and then badmouth everybody and then let the public starve there. But that's better. Just saying no and walking away from things to where the police and military have to come to their senses and then have an open discussion from the cities, taking over the broadcast systems with the federal government, with the criminals who have taken control of it, and saying, look, dismantle it. We want to have an open discussion instead of you lying. We want to have open discussions with you. We want to have, and then you might have an open debate about it. And then at least a stalemate. The best we can hope for with these people is stalemate. And of course you're thinking, how would you ever get the yuppies in the public to figure that out? How will you get them to analyze and see the full attack profile and the full plan? If not, it's going to be the total takeover of the economy, an intensified police state, and then controlled eugenics extermination of the majority of us. One-child policies, total control. We either get this monkey off our back. Okay, look, I know Paul Watson's been holding for 15 minutes or 12 minutes. I wanted to bring him up because he's gone around trying to buy just a few gold coins because, their banks aren't safe over there, and there's runs on those as well. And instead of reading the Daily Express, Gold Rush's bullion has a glitzy future. Investors worried about the state of the markets have started a gold rush buying into bullion stocks in unprecedented numbers, analysts said yesterday. And then it talks about huge lines of customers have been congregating outside the offices of ATS Bullion in London, and people pin their hopes on gold being the answer. And then it goes into Germany and Russia and everywhere else. The gold is sold out. Most of the gold shops in the U.S. have been sold out for weeks. I keep telling you this. Paul Watson, what are you seeing in England being there on the ground?
Hello, Alex. Good to be back. Yeah, basically I've spent the last 2 afternoons desperately trying to buy gold coins, just 3 or 4 gold coins. I tried ATS Bullion, which is in the Savoy Hotel in London, which you just mentioned. They physically don't have the people to answer the phone. There's people queuing up round the block, and they just don't answer the phone. They haven't for the past 2 days. Now, the second biggest gold dealer in Britain is based in Blackpool. Yesterday, I couldn't get through to them. Today, I finally managed to get through, and they had one-ounce gold coin. And this is the second biggest gold dealer in Britain. And they've got
they're having, just to keep their doors open, they're having to keep, you happy as a customer by limiting days ago 1 coin per person. And the same thing in Germany and Russia. They are sold out. Meanwhile, they've still suppressed the price of gold. It's only gone up $100. It should have gone up thousands. Now, again, it shows the paper market is a fraud, Paul.
Exactly. And you know that the price of gold, the interbank lending rate of gold, which is currently, about 908 or something like that, that is being deliberately suppressed because it doesn't correlate with the reality of what people are prepared to pay for gold. You can go and look at auctions on eBay.com, which ended on Friday, the 3rd of October, when gold was at $834 an ounce. And people are bidding, in one case for a 1-ounce Krugerrand, $938. That was the final bid, which is a 12% premium over what the price was on
And a
Friday
Krugerrand
evening.
is as bullion as it gets because it has a pall over it because of apartheid, which is ridiculous. It's excellent gold.
Yeah, and it's difficult to get now. But 12% premium over the price of gold on Friday. And there was a silver bar which ended up going for 74% over the price of an ounce of silver, also on Friday the 3rd of October. So that shows you that the demand for gold is so intense and the supply can't match it that people are prepared to pay over the odds, and the interbank lending rate doesn't correlate with reality.
All right, I want to shift gears back into gold in a minute, but you've written an article, Bankers Want World Economic Government to Solve Financial Crisis They Created. London Telegraph, Wall Street Journal, they're all saying world government run by the bankers that engineered this. We told people over a decade ago, and the Trilateralists said in the 70s they were going to engineer this. We're seeing the master corporate takeover by design happen, and then you've got the British head of all this, who's a top Bilderberg member, Secretary Peter Mandelson. Tell folks about that.